So I promised filet mignon and then I delivered chicken this weekend. Ever been in that position before? My name is CJ. This is Evolve Strong with CJ, and I help you lose 10 pounds and 5 inches in 28 days. My job is to be as real as possible and to help you hopefully spark and resonate some kind of relationship with you in regards to our journey in this journey thing called life, right? And I use fitness and I use wellness as my craft in order to help individuals better themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that's been my passion now for 28 years. And I actually experience this thing called human life every single day. And I am an open book. I live in pretty much a glass house, and I'm very real and honest, probably to a T, about my experiences in life and how fitness has really kept me focused and on the straight and narrow. But there are times where I do fall off the wagon myself and I mess up. But I'll tell you this, the one thing that I do is I show up. I may not be 100%, but I show up. And I believe very strongly that's 90% of the battle. So this weekend, I was so good. I was so good. And then I let the peer pressures of the day get the better of me. And I made choices where the following day I had promised that I was going to be doing a highly advanced, skilled step class. And it was built up for this. And the room was packed when I showed up on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. The problem was my mind was still mush from the night before. And I could not concentrate worth a crap. And with a room full of individuals expecting me to produce a highly advanced step class, CJ had to pull back, be honest with everybody, and say, hey, I know I promised you this, but I had to deliver just a basic strength and cardio class with no choreography, no anything. And then to boot with that, there's a lot of moisture in the air, so our microphone and our systems went haywire. So I had to buy a brand new wire to make it work again, but I couldn't do it that day. So the mic was broke. My brain was broke because of poor choices the day before. And I promised filet mignon and I delivered chicken. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny in the moment. And it was very disappointing. I think to me, and to, I was probably the biggest disappointment, right? But I delivered a class and I delivered it to the point where I could do it the best I could. And then I just kept my day going and I did it. Have you ever been in that situation before? Have you? And I work 7 days a week. So I should have made better choices the day before. But the only times that I'm able to even go anywhere out are on Saturday evenings or on Friday evenings, because I normally don't have to report it until 7 or 8 rather than 4 a.m. So I don't get to go locally to do a lot of stuff because I do work 7 days a week, and those are all excuses. But I did, and it was a big pool day party, and then it was a gay day over at the soccer stadium, and I just allowed myself to just let loose a little too much. And I paid the price the next day. But I showed up. And then secondly, I was honest and I did what I could. And then now I'm going to have to pay the penance of embarrassment. But then I owe everybody a highly choreographed step class where I'm going to step it up and fucking perform like there's no tomorrow. I haven't really messed up like that in years. I don't even say it's a mess up. I just didn't deliver that which I had promised. I delivered under that which I did. But that's life, right? That's life. But I did it. I showed up, I performed, and I did it. Now, what about you? I didn't hide under a rock. I didn't lie. I was just like, I just got to keep pushing through. And I have to say, from a learning perspective, I'm proud of myself for that. I'm not proud of myself for not being here at the tip-top condition, but I'm proud that I was able to push through and that I didn't lie. I was honest and I still did what I could. And now I have to pay it back. And I think that's huge because his old CJ would have tried to light his way through and maybe not have showed up, tried to have canceled it, tried to have done a lot of different things. This is way back in like 2008. And I'm wondering, you know, if that has a lot of integrity. And when it's dealing with what I believe weight gain, being out of health, these are just symptoms of something much greater. I think these are because we began in order to handle our stresses. I'm getting a little confused because I'm trying to go down a path to where I'm relating this. When you try to handle bullshit in our lives, which we all have bullshit, when we have stresses in life, when we try to handle them in ways that are easy, such as going for a beer, eating because it satiates you, you know, having extramarital affairs, you know, doing things where it's not healthy for you, this is when you gain the weight. This is when you start, you know, using substances like I did before historically that would just douse the pain of chaos in our lives. It would numb the pain. And, you know, it's crazy how quickly you can go down that road. And then you find yourself 50 pounds heavier, 60 pounds heavier. Then you find yourself, you know, addicted. Then you find yourself, you know, out of relationships because you're using sex. You find yourself in these situations to where, you know, you're going to have to dig yourself out of those holes. When you should have just put your big girl britches on and put your big boy britches on and shown up, been truthful, do what you could, man up and get through it. And then at the end, you still leave with your integrity. You don't have to lie. You don't have to keep covering things up. And then, you know, you feel a little bit better about yourself. Yeah, you're going to have to pay the piper. You're going to have to do it. And I'm still going to have to do it with my peeps. And I'm still going to have to deliver. But at the end of the day, I did what was right. And I think that helps out a lot, especially when we're trying to correct our journeys and when we're trying to take care of ourselves. Yes. Liz came up to me today and says, I've had a hard time just getting motivated to get here. I've had 3 weeks where I've just been out. The only way you get motivation is by actually showing up, by actually doing something. You can't just sit there for motivation to come to you. You have to take action in order to feel motivated. So today, guys, are you making the right decisions? Are you showing up? Are you doing what is necessary to help you in this journey called life to make you better? It's a big deal. So I wanted to share my experience this weekend. Superman lost his cape. He did pretty bad, but it is what it is, right? All right, guys. I hope that's a positive message. I hope you can relate a little bit. I hope you can realize that I'm human and I share the same human experience. And don't beat yourself up, but get back on the fucking wagon. Make the right choices. Be honest with yourself, right? 505-591-4700, 505-591-4700. Reach out with me if you need some help. That's a text and a voice line. We stand ready. If you like this, if you want to hear, you know, share this. I mean, if you like this and you know it would be useful for someone else, please share it. I'd appreciate it. From my heart, cheers. Remember, start strong, stay strong, always be evolve strong. Later, guys.